Thank you, Donna. Hello, everyone. I'm Mina George. I'm a Senior Specialist Solution Architect for automation based in Sydney. Let me start by saying I'm really, really excited to be here today and talk to you about IT automation being a key enabler for enterprise AI and adoption. What are we going to discuss today? We're going to talk about a quick overview of AAP, or Ansible Automation Platform. We're going to talk about what other challenges that organizations have in adopting and managing their AI infrastructure, how Ansible and AAP are best placed to address those challenges. We're going to dive deeper in details onto the different use cases, including a demo, and we're going to dive deeper a little bit about that demo and talk what are the practical implementations of it, and then end up with a quick recap and the resources to continue your AI journey. So, by the raise of hands, how many of us have AAP or had their hands on AAP? Good. Ansible Tower. All right, great. So what is AAP? It's a unified enterprise-grade solution for strategic automation. What does that really mean? It means really that whether you're automating standard automation, or you're doing event-driven automation, or you're writing, managing, or creating your content, which is your automation code, this is a platform that offers great flexibility and integration capacity with different vendor technologies, backed up by massive number of certified collections, which is what we're going to talk about in a couple of slides later. It can automate literally any use case across your IT landscape, across multiple different SME domains. I've heard one of the statements about Ansible and AAP recently, which is the limit to what AAP and Ansible can do is literally your imagination. So any use case can be automated, can be done. But as Tertius and as Sean mentioned, we're not doing task automations. We are leveraging an end-to-end orchestration workflows that enables us to automate our entire business process. Something like provisioning workflow, something like day 2 operations workflow. There's a cool demo in the booths out there showing exactly what I'm talking about. But that even means that it is a mission-critical automation platform, that it will become even more and more essential when we, as organizations, start deploying our required infrastructure to support our AI workloads. Tertius mentioned this in detail and covered that in details. I want to skip through and talk about what does it mean when we say end-to-end. End-to-end means we're going to create, I'm going to manage, and we're going to scale. Create. So all of us can start writing Ansible automation code quickly, efficiently, by leveraging the certified content collections. It's a pre-packaged Ansible automation code that's developed between Red Hat and our over 70+ partners and vendors that enables us to start and jumpstart our automation journey straight away. Leveraging our Gen AI capabilities of Ansible Lightspeed and backed by the Watson Code Assistant, as we've seen and we've heard a lot about it today, and how does that fast track our automation journey. Manage. We're managing the automation across different lifecycle environments. We're managing the automation code across different domains in a single platform. We have Ansible Automation Hub that enables us to do that. And we're scaling across different life cycles, different technology domain, network automation, standard SOE management, cloud, on-prem virtualization infrastructure, and today we're going to start talking and putting this all together when we introduce AIOps. Whether it's a network device, router, a switch, whether it's a virtual machine running on-prem or on cloud, public cloud, whether it's running operating system, whether it's RHEL or Windows, and that even if you're managing the underlying infrastructure like an OpenShift virtualization, or if you're using any other hypervisor, or if you even self-serving application delivery, as a pipeline development and deployment, there are three key pillars for every use case or key activities that needs to be maintained by different teams, which is one, provisioning and retiring of that resource. Second is the actual standardization of configuration management. And the third thing is managing, or that we call the placement of every resource. So I've spoken about content collection. This is a very small snippet of what we have available on the platform that can help you start automating and start using the capabilities of the platform to integrate with different systems to automate your end-to-end business workflow. This is the real value. You will see that in the demo booths out there, we are using the collections to integrate with ServiceNow. We're integrate with different other tools. We're using the Arista collection to automate Arista switches. It's all available in the demo. Have a chat to the team to show you exactly how that works. But don't take it just from me. Red Hat has been named a leader in the infrastructure automation platforms, where Ansible Automation Platform is outperforming. What are the key takeaways from here, from the vendor profile? One, backed by a strong community and partner ecosystem. Second, the platform is strategically available for organizations looking for end-to-end automation as their core strategy. And third is the various use cases, the comprehensive use cases that can be and should be automated using Ansible. But why? What are the value what is the values that the platform is bringing to the table? So we've spoken about the three key activities: provision, create, manage, and configuration and config. So we want to ensure end-to-end automation. That means we want to reduce the number of manual tasks and clicks so that we can speed up our automation service. We want to do things quicker. Yet we want to reduce the risk associated with human or operator errors. Also ensuring, and this is my favorite point, ensuring consistency. We are standardizing our approach to automation. We are ensuring that we are doing this consistently. Sean touched a lot around code reuse. This is really, really important. And we want to do this securely. All the automation code is covered by end-to-end integrity and signed code. All the certified collections are signed. They're security scanned. They meet all the compliance requirements. All right, we've covered AAP. By the raise of hands, who in their organization or has their organization started their AI journey? All right, cool, awesome. So, are there any challenges operationalizing your AI infrastructure? Like with any IT system, there are some challenges. So recently, AI has been forefront for a couple of years, since ChatGPT, and I believe 2 weeks ago, I've given a community talk around AI and data management, and I asked the question, who knows AI? And he's like, everyone raised their hands, and I asked them again, who really knows what AI is? And a couple of people, and they said it's ChatGPT. In fact, recently, AI has been more and more adopted. And whether you're adding any AI capabilities to your existing technologies or application, or using a prepackaged models, prepackaged technologies on-prem or on the cloud, public cloud, or you're developing and managing your own infrastructure or AI workloads, there is a new set of demands that are required from operations teams and from the engineering teams in any organization to ensure their infrastructure is ready, is maintained, and is continuously improved and optimized. All right, we've mentioned it. There are more and more strain being placed by adopting AI to the teams to ensure that they build, manage, and scale their AI infrastructure, which is basically the infrastructure that supports hosting the AI applications and workloads. AI models are becoming more complex, more CPUs, more GPUs are needed, and an increasing volume of data used to train the different AI models. We need to ensure that the data is also secure. The large volume of data, we need to ensure it meets the security and compliance requirements, while also maintaining and maximizing the cost efficiency. So, how does Ansible Automation Platform help? We've heard it from Chip in the keynote today. Automation is the key foundation for your AI operations, strategy, and efficiency. So to achieve an AI success, to achieve a successful AI implementation, automation is a key corner block. It's a key to achieving that success. But it can be it can be both ways, as the diagram shows us. You can use automation to make the infrastructure more resilient. And you can use AI to make the infrastructure, which is the opposite direction, more responsive. I love it when I see the arrows moving in opposite directions because it tells me that the black arrow here is the standard automation. The red arrow is the response, automation due to a response. We are responding to something. That's where we are leveraging a lot of EDA. All right, let's talk more about those benefits. So our playbooks provide consistent, reusable, repeatable pattern for deployments of any infrastructure that supports our AI journey, like firewalls, servers, OpenShift AI, infrastructure, anything, deployment of models itself. And take it to the next step. Automation will help us deploy monitoring agents on those systems, modify and update alert rules. But what's really more important, as I mentioned, it's the response. It's the reverse direction automation coming out of those monitoring systems. And importantly, the data management. The key about AI is training the model with your own data. So you need to move that data from the place they're generated to the place there will be deployed, used to train a deployed model. But we want to do that securely, we want to do that repeatedly and efficiently. Let's dive into some of those use cases. We'll spend some time on this. So there are key three groups of use cases. Orchestration and augmentation. We've spoken about that. We are deploying and managing the infrastructure. AAP comes with workflows that can repeatedly automate your end-to-end process repeatedly. And that means you are using out-of-the-box capabilities to do that using software collections, and you can extend it to your own. Operationalization, which is delivering AI ops, which is our key focus today. We have seen, and Tertius mentioned that example of we found an issue and now we're dealing with it. Sean mentioned that our engineers are writing playbooks to fix issues that we know of. But what if? We don't know what the issue is. You have a system that raised an event, and that event, you do not know what really happened. So what can you do? It's trying to achieve a self-healing infrastructure, which means let EDA get those events, ask an AI model, deploy an OpenShift AI or RHEL AI, come back with a response. That response is enriching a ticket, and then leverage the GenAI capabilities of Ansible Lightspeed, backed by Watson X, to generate an automation playbook that you will be using to automate that. I know some of you will say, how can I run a playbook in production that I didn't test? And that's thanks to policy as a code. You will be able to put it or check it into Git do the validation on automated code review in Git, then policy as code kicks in to ensure you have confidence to run those playbooks and remediate your systems. And the last key set of use cases is infrastructure optimization, lifecycle managing of your models. You have a new version released of the model, whether you're using prepackaged or you're creating your own models. How can you efficiently redeploy and manage that? That is a set of use cases, whether your models are deployed on RHEL AI or OpenShift AI. All right, let's dive deep into every single one. Orchestration, we have a config enablement standard. We can just configure our infrastructure that hosts our AI workloads. Take it to the next level. Increase service availability. Leverage EDA to look back and determine the root cause of an issue. Most of your technology stacks, Cisco routers, Dynatrace plugins, or Arista switches, they all come now with pre-baked AI capability that can analyze the errors and provide some guidance on what needs to be done. But who's going to actually do it or take a decision to do it? And every single tech stack uses their own. So, as I mentioned, we have a unified platform that can do that using a de facto language. Ansible, as I say always, coding in English. And let's take it to the next level. Automatic remediation. So we have our response to that issue that happened automatically actioned. There is a cool demo. Tertius described it in details. I don't want to go through it again, which is security-hardened remediation using EDA. It's out there. You can see it live. It's covering those known errors. What about unknown errors? This. We use AI to give us how to improve the responsiveness of our infrastructure. So automation now is going to kick off an issue enrichment, generate automation, and achieve a self-healing infrastructure. Again, do not discount the fact that we need to get confidence on the playbooks generated because we're going to use policy as code. And when it comes to optimization, as I mentioned, it's more about the model, lifecycle management, in addition to onboarding edge devices. It's all about the data. IoT devices and edge devices, and how can we consistently onboard them and make sure we do that repetitively. All right, demo time. You've probably seen the video in the keynote, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper now. So we've got an event that takes place. An event can be a server crashed. It can be a high CPU load. It can be an error. It could be an information. But the common thing is, it's all aggregated using a log aggregation tool, Splunk, Elastic, or similar, or using a message bus like Kafka, or if using Vector, or anything that's similar. And then an Ansible rulebook picks up the event. What does that mean? It means our EDA now is notified of that event using the source plugins. So event sources are source plugins in EDA. Everyone familiar with EDA? Right. So EDA, think of it like it has a set of sensors. It detected something, and based on that, it's going to run a rulebook. A rulebook is the same like playbook, but in the EDA context. And it has one key information we need to keep in our heads. The logic of execution is if this, then that. So it will now make a decision what automation is going to trigger. So it's going to talk to the automation controller. The automation controller, which is the second part or the main part of the AAP platform, is going to run an automation workflow. Why it has to be a workflow? Because we're automating a process. We can't just run a single playbook. It has to be a business logic that needs to be executed. It will talk to an AI via an API or any access method or a prompt and retrieve back a payload. The payload, it could be querying what is this new CVE, what is, how do we fix this issue? Similarly, like how you interact with a prompt-based AI, it will automatically do that. And it's going to run some validation and checks on the content because, you know. And then open a case or raise an incident in ServiceNow and enrich it, add more information, assign it to the right team. Because you don't want to start your journey by having an issue on the system and then we log in and troubleshoot that. What it happens on 100 systems? What if it's a CVE, which means that most of our environment is impacted? And then it will request a playbook from Ansible Lightspeed, or actually from the code assistant using Ansible Lightspeed. The beauty is it's going to follow your own standard. If you use Lightspeed and make Watson X, learn from your coding practices. If you do something wrong in the playbook, it will not generate bad playbooks, because I get that question all the time. It's going to learn of your practices by adding the right tags, by adding the structure and your way of writing tasks. Remediate the issue, but as I mentioned, this is for the demo today. The real practical implementation of this, you will have to check it into source control, because we must have a source of truth, because that playbook can be reused again. And then do the Git governance automatically. And then policy as code to tell us, can we run this or not? And if everything is green, then we remediate. So we'll start quickly by going, an issue happens on a web server. We have a failed web server. EDA picks up the error, and then we query an AI endpoint running on RHEL AI. Open a case in ServiceNow, enrich it, generate an Ansible playbook, and for the sake of the demo, we have remediated, run it against the nominated system, and get HTTPD back up again. So what are the next steps? Visit redhat.com/automation-AI. You're going to find a lot of resources on how automation can be the key to your adoption of AI, and importantly, management of the infrastructure that supports your AI workload. Grab an AAP trial, redhat/Ansible_trial. You'll get 30 days of hands-on on AAP. Start playing around with it. Talk to us, me and Tertius on the booth, and reach out to the Red Hat team always. If you need any help with setting AAP to go through your trial journey. And most importantly, follow the demo on the booth. There are demos that talks exactly about those workflows. You can see how those workflows are done in real life. These are real customer solutions that are presented on the demo out there. And thank you for your time. Questions?
Any questions from the audience? Yep. Maybe any questions from the live one here? Do the AI components require any special hardware?
Sorry?
The AI pieces, do they require any special hardware?
It depends on the model you're deploying. Most of them, they would require definitely GPU, but again, it depends on how you're training and what kind of data sets you're training your models with. Absolutely.
One over here.
Yep.
Wait, hold it. Get a mic to you so that the live stream can hear your question.
So when the some error happens, you said that it is sent to the AI piece, and will it be automatically able to diagnose the problem and repair it?
That's a good question. It depends on the model, and yes, it can if it's trained using the right data. So think of it like any open source or any upstream AI. You can say, how do I fix this? How do I fix that? To your point, you're absolutely correct, and that's why I mentioned you need to validate what's coming out of the AI model to make sure that it is correct. So you can run some automation playbooks to do some testing somewhere, and how you can implement that workflow in production, absolutely to your point, that's correct. But you should be knowing the data you trained your models with, and you should be able to say that I can trust it. Yeah.
One more question, I think we've got time for.
Just around AI and linting. So it sounds like, I guess traditionally with a workflow or something similar, you might have some kind of linting that's running against the pipeline. It sounds like Red Hat are going down the path of using the AI in place of linting. It's effectively doing the linting for you, because I know you were talking a lot about you want to check your code first. Is there any plans to bring in any kind of linting so you can set up some rules around checking what comes out of the AI?
When you say rules checking out of the AI, which part of the AI is the?
To say with
Lightspeed?
With Lightspeed, yeah. If you want to run it through some kind of linting process first to validate it.
I love this question. Absolutely. I always mention you need to check it into Git. In that Git workflow, you can run Ansible molecule, which can do all the validation, or you're running a test run out of it. You can use Ansible, you should use Ansible lint, right? But that's good. But as I mentioned, there's something called policy as code. So think of policy as code as an agent. Is everyone familiar with something called Open Policy Agent or the Gatekeeper? Oh, Stan is raising his hand at the back. Or so it's basically, think of it as a proxy, someone who's sitting here that says, oh, you can run this. For example, I need to patch, for example, the playbook comes and tells, I need to patch that version of this package, but you have a policy that says, this cannot happen in production. It has to happen on test first. But let's assume policy as code, it says, you're good to go. Then you run. As Tertius mentioned, again, if everything goes to plan, that's going to be available soon, probably in May, but that answers your question.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mina.